This week we're at BBC Elstree Studios, where the cast are rehearsing for a new series of You Rang, My Lord.
Nice and quiet everywhere, please.
I wish you wouldn't keep saying God, especially on a Sunday. Why have you changed into your flying kit? You know very well the Bishop's coming for lunch.
I'm taking the tiger moth up this afternoon.
David Croft and I first met when he was doing a series called Hugh and I, with Terry Scott and Hugh Lloyd, and I was in it as an actor. And I had written a pilot which was called The Fighting Tigers, which was about the Home Guard. And I showed it to David, and he went over the moon, marvellous. It's like one of those wonderful stories. He said, this is fantastic. He showed enthusiasm right from the start. And I wrote another pilot, and then we sold it to the BBC. The BBC loved it, and that's how we got together with Dad's Army. And we've been together now for 22 years. We've written about 260 shows.
I think when you get actors who have played together in the past in various things, that we know how to write for them, we know what they're good at, and they know each other's characteristics and are therefore able to sort of react properly to each other, and I think it does help enormously.
Next door. What are they up to?
Well, actually, in this particular... I feel like I'm planning a robbery. In this particular instance, Blanche, played by Brenda Cowling, who's Mrs Lipton the cook, she wants Alf Stokes, who plays my dad, oh, it's pretty complicated, to marry her. And he's trying to get money off her, you see, to yet again go and get up to one of his tricks again.
Well, so we'll have 2 to 2:30.
No, we're not recording straight after lunch. We've still got 2 scenes to rehearse after lunch.
So what, we'll be back at 2:15?
I'm surrounded by very pretty girls, and they're all good at their job, and what could be more relaxing? And if I don't say this, they might turn the blinking thing green, you see. It's a different colour every week, but nobody can see that on the screen. It's beautifully done. Might be easier if Meldrum had a tremendous shock and went quite white.
Sue, is your character Ivy still getting unwanted attention from upstairs?
No, I think she's secretly very relieved because he now fancies Madge Cartwright's maid Rose. And so I've been left off the hook. But I've got a secret fascination for Mr James Twelvetrees. You know, Geoffrey Holland is gorgeous. And he has all his hair slicked back. He looks...
Carefully avoided a cosy atmosphere with this series. They're quite heavy, as you realise. I mean, the toffs upstairs treat the servants appallingly, and the servants have no regard for them ones upstairs. So they're all on the fiddle. Basically, it's how it really was.
You do get a really strong sense of the people downstairs. They're not... You get a real feeling about what they're thinking and... you know, how they're put upon in a way by the...
Very much so. It really gives a great insight into the real great divide of the upstairs-downstairs.
Well, I think Alf would like there to be a revolution so that he could take over upstairs and we should be waited on by the toffs. But as long as James is around, he'll make sure that that does.
Would you prefer to be upstairs than downstairs, though?
Well, every week when I come in and I see them fantastic frocks, you know, because Poppy especially, Poppy Meldrum is, you know, the young, very flighty girl who always has to wear a new frock, and it's usually always chiffon or raw silk or, you know. And I look at that and I think, oh, flipping heck. You know, why can't I be elevated? I've never had a posh part yet. But then I get all the sympathy.
Ready?
And I think it's awful that Mr Teddy's engaged to Madge Cartwright and carrying on with her maid.
Well, Ivy, men were deceivers ever.
Basically, I think comedy is what comes more naturally to me. I think if you're that sort of person, if you're a serious person, probably Shakespeare would come more to you. But I certainly wouldn't rule out more serious roles. I think the older you get, the more experience you've had of life as well. You want to try other things. You want to try and you know, bring other emotions to people rather than just making them laugh. I hope always to be doing good work. And if I get a really good part that I feel I could do well and I had a good director, then I wouldn't hesitate to do it. It's just finding the right thing.
People used to say comedy is a serious business. It isn't. It's a funny business. You take it seriously, you rehearse it seriously, but you don't have to be gloomy about it, and I do try to keep it fun, you know. And it is. I mean, we have enormous fun.
You can cook that, can't you?
It's chaos here. Chaos.
Oh, it's a post on a bit of cake. No. Do you want some cake, Geoffrey?
No, thank you. I'm not into cake.
Come on, have some cake, Geoffrey.
But you cannot.
What would you like to do next? Have you got any ideas? Or do you want to stay with comedy?
I'd like to go out with Warren Beatty.